Welcome to Talent Instinct, an electrifying space where we dive into how construction business owners revamp their hunt for top-tier talent by instinctivizing their efforts. It's time to spice up relying on systems and processes and discover prime insights on how to smartly apply their most important aspect, their instinct, as well as intellect, to pinpoint individuals who don't just fit in, but flourish. Let's face it, making the right hire for your business has never been more paramount. The stakes of the wrong hire can disrupt performance, profit, culture, and succession planning. Talent Instinct isn't about playing it safe. It's about conquering with calculated instinct. Well, welcome to another episode of Talent Instinct. And I wanted to talk about today where we're at in terms of where the market is. We've got some really interesting things going on at the moment. And I really think that we keep on trying to get a grasp on what our new norm is since COVID. And you would have thought by now that things would have settled down. But speaking to a lot of people in the industry, we just still seem to just not quite be able to get a handle on things. Obviously, inflation is still a big subject. And then on top of that, the interest rates, which is obviously causing the inflation or trying to get it down. And then now we have an election. And that is definitely having some massive effects on us as small business owners, especially. I keep on hearing of, unfortunately, some small businesses still going into administration. So we have a lot of topics or a lot of things that what's going on in the market at the moment. And some of the things is that there's still work. I'm not saying there isn't. There is definitely still some work, but being into financial year, it's definitely having an effect on the market and projects. There is definitely a lull at the moment. At least I'm hearing from a lot of people, whether it's clients or industry people, it is definitely a lot slower. We've got some people sitting at home. We're getting a lot of different applications of people coming through with, quite a high skill set. So you can see that the market's really turning over and changing, which means that as a business owner, I always advise clients of mine that when it's like this, it's a really good time to look at your team. It's a really good time to restructure. It's a really good time to look at your internal processes and figure out, is there anything that you can do better? Look at what you're sort of spending, where you're spending, how much is it costing? Where can we save money? And is the business going in the direction that we want it to? That's a big thing. And then, of course, looking at your team and saying, okay, do we have the right culture? Do we have the right people fitting in the culture? Is there people that are not working up to where we need the standard to be? And is it time to look for better talent? And are they replaceable? So it's always got its positives. I think sometimes people sit there and get really uncertain about things like this, but for me, I really look at it like it's a time to go back to basics and just go back to what I know, do recruitment how I know, look at my processes as I'm saying, and do the 101s of having a business and sorting that out. The other things that I guess are coming off these sorts of things is we have a massive influence of people coming up from New South Wales, especially to take on the tier 1 projects. So that's definitely going to have an effect on the business, and especially the tier 2 arena. We are going to have a massive influx of businesses changing direction and going towards doing government projects rather than doing commercial. And we have a housing crisis. I know, shocker, like we haven't been talking about that for a very long time. So there's break-offs to that subject as well, where a lot of people are sitting on blocks of land and not developing because it's too expensive. Obviously, the two highest costs for any businesses, as I've said before, is materials and labor. So with those still being a high priority on where our costings are going and what we're doing with that. It's really making people sit on blocks of land, which counteracts what the government wants to do, and that's essentially build houses. No one wants to build houses because it's too expensive for them to. We have all sorts of things that the government's trying to do coming up to this election. And I think that it is a massive responsibility for all of us to really look into what is going to help the country on a whole, to make a decision on who you vote for and where that is going to put the country and how we manage that. Our economy definitely needs some help right now. You can see that people are struggling, even in the retail sector. We don't have the spending that we really should, and I hope that we get some sort of breath of fresh air from that. I was having a conversation saying that times like this, the people that get hurt the most, I feel, are definitely when they're selling property or when we're trying to build, is definitely at the upper end, because they're going to lose money. And then, of course, you've got people on the down. I personally, I've never seen so many homeless people in Queensland since I moved up here 11, 12 years ago. It's really a frightening scene out there to see how many people are homeless, and they're working class homeless. They have jobs and they have families and they've got nowhere to go. I definitely don't have the answer for everything, and it can get quite frustrating. I feel that it's not just me that gets frustrated with all of this stuff. It's everybody. It's everybody I speak to. I think that we really need to do something about all the taxes that we pay. It is sore point for most business owners that I know, and with all of the challenges that they're facing with the ATO at the moment. And to be more clearer with that, we're having a lot of people trying to restructure debts to the ATO, and we're also having a lot of people that are going into administration because the ATO turned around after COVID and has gone, oh, okay, you owe us money. Well, you're going to pay that now. We want that money now. And a lot of businesses just were not set up for that. We got the impression, and sometimes even advice from accountants out there, that no, it's okay. You can put off your debt so people could keep their businesses running through COVID and be able to still pay their staff. And now that, of course, has been changed, and now they want their money. It's also very hard to get a loan. No one wants to lend you money because you owe the ATO money, and of course then it's even affecting trying to get insurance if you have a big ATO debt. There are definitely some ways to go and fix that. There's, as I'm saying, the SBRs and things like that. There's certain people you can go and talk to, and they will put together a case file for you and put that towards the ATO to try and help you sustain your business. But it's a really good time to make sure that you have the right people around you, whether it's an accountant or lawyers or insurance people. Definitely, if you want to know a bit more, I've got some great contacts in the industry that can give you great advice and help you through this difficult period. But again, to get back to what I was talking about, it's really hard to, as a business owner or to anyone at the moment, to really forecast where we're going or what we actually see happening in the next 12 months. I'm not the only person that feels like this. There's so many people out there that are saying the same thing, even people that have been in the industry 30 years. I heard Scott Hutchinson say it. He's never ever seen anything like this in the whole time he's been in construction. And when you're having people that have been in the industry for 30, 40 years saying those sorts of things, you really, really have to start thinking to yourself, wow, this is a challenging time, and wow, okay, we really need to have some procedures in place to make sure that we're going to get through this and we're going to come out on the other end. And we will. And there are businesses out there thriving. It's not all doom and gloom. I just really think that, again, having this break and having it be a bit quieter, or having this sort of change in the market again, it's a really good time to look at where your business is going. What kind of clients do you have? who's bringing in the most money, who pays on time, what works for you, and stick to that and build on that to make sure that you come out with the success that you need and want for your business. I see a lot of people getting out of construction, which is really sad. And that's because it's so challenging at the moment. But I think if we all stick to it and make some good decisions, business decisions, and hopefully the government comes to the party. Don't hold me on that, but you can only hope. But I think that we really need to get some great decisions and a good basis, as I'm saying, and good procedures to make sure that we all come out of this as successfully as possible. And I think it's such a good thing, and I've really made sure that I've reached out and have great people around me, whether they're business owners or like advisory people or like whatever, just to help me and make sure that I'm hearing and knowing what's going on in the industry and to help me through it and give me great advice so I can keep on succeeding and keep on pushing forward. So it's definitely a sign of the times here, guys. And I think that that's the problem, is it's definitely a time that none of us have really encountered ever before. So I wish everybody well. Again, if there's anything that I can ever do, or you need contacts, or you're not sure about anything, please feel free to reach out to me, and always here to help. Thanks for listening to Talent Instinct. I'm Chantal Penny, and if you want more razor sharp insider info on instinctivizing your hiring game, then hit the subscribe button. Oh, and remember to drop a killer rating and review. Please don't hold back. Spread the news to fellow construction business owners too. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and soak up all of my content, please do so by stalking us on Talent Instinct and my brainchild Siteforce Recruitment on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram.